I love how we get to see more of the afterlife in this movie. I mean, the costumes, everything, it's amazing. So I want to ask you, which was your favorite death character in the afterlife?
Ooh. There was the first day that I shot in the afterlife. There was this actor who was a magician, I want to say, and he was trapped in a box filled with water, and his face was pressed against the glass, and he had a hand out, and he had a key. And even when we said cut, he still would try to get you to like get the key and unlock the box for him. And I would try to talk to him like, hey, how are you doing? Are you comfortable? Are you good? And he just went, and I thought that was incredible that he never broke.
Whoa.
He never broke character. He was the most committed.
Magician.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was a good one.
I remember the one that I was kind of just visually the most stunned by, and it was in combination with the set, was the Soul Train. And I snuck, you guys were shooting something else, I think over in the office or something, and I went over to the Soul Train set, and I just walked around it, and I was taking so many photos. I was taking so many pictures because everything, even the subway maps and the advertisements, were all really well done. And then when I saw it filled with all the people that were on the Soul Train, I was just like, whoa! And then I was taking pictures of them. I think it was sort of the most wide open set or space where you had sort of the biggest depth of field when it came to seeing sort of like what the afterlife subway looked like. I don't know. It was just visually just.
Did they have music, or they had the extras, like dancing?
When they were shooting,
It was a full number.
Oh wow!
Shooting that sequence in particular, I remember just thinking, oh wow, I want to remember this for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Like I did everything I could to look at everyone, talk to everyone,
to be
look
present.
at all the makeup.
And we had some crew members that I think were dressed up, like some of the assistants that were working with us on set, so they were. Everyone got a chance to play.
Were involved.
Yeah.
The scary baby of Jenna. This moment is incredible. We can't say much because but just when Jenna have this moment, for me is unbelievable because it's like if already she had a baby in her life. Well, the way how she acts to me is unbelievable, shocking to me because she's so full of emotion and so real. And this baby, oh my God, this baby. I would like to take the baby with me in the house because it's scary, but it's amazing.
I told Tim he should keep it, and shooting that was, oh man, I just blinked on what I was going to say. But Tim should have kept that. That was incredible. It looks so good.
To get him on a shelf at his house.
Actresses have to give birth a lot because they do so many movies. It's like, how many times have you been a mother in a movie or something like that? So I just felt really honored that was my first child.
Your first child?
But it's an amazing scene.
And then there's another baby, which is equally amazing.
Many spoilers, there's a scene where a character says something like, sorrow has no expiring date. And then she finds herself like really happy about the phrase that she came up with, like, that's a really nice phrase. She's really proud of it. So I wanted to ask you, was there something in this process that in the creativity and the creation of your own characters that made you so proud? Like, I'm really proud that I came up with that idea for my character.
Well, I'm not sure. I think it's really hard because any moment that I had with Winona was really special. Anytime that we could have some sort of connecting piece, because in the first film you see Lydia so isolated and feeling so misunderstood, and she has the Maitlands eventually, but I think she's kind of in a similar place when you see her again in this film. So it was really wonderful to kind of break through that as her daughter. And just give her that comfort or to have that bond. I think that was like really, really special to me, and I was lucky that she was my mother. Very, very lucky. Winona was incredible, and the way that she handled it at any time we shot a scene together, it was very, very proud of that.
And do you relate more to Astrid as a character or to Lydia when she was younger?
I feel like I relate a little bit more to Lydia. The only reason why is because Astrid, I feel, is probably the only person on the planet who doesn't like Lydia. Like I think everybody else.
True.
Yeah. She's an icon.
Yes.
Well, it's her mom.
Yeah,
it's normal.
It's different
Mom
for her.
issues.
What a fool.
What a fool she is. What a fool my character was.
What about you, Justin? What made you proud?
I obviously didn't have to do any emotional scenes, but I really, when we first started, me and Tim started talking about it, he was like, whatever you want to do. You can really do whatever you want to do. So we really did develop like the character, and I think the key, at one point I figured out like, oh, this is a guy who's like in his own soap opera. Like the close-up is always on him in his own brain. So and he's also, we added this thing where that he's like sort of overly emotional and sort of new agey, which I really liked. And so once I sort of had that, and I realized like, oh, he's just in a melodrama, he's just, he's in a soap opera. Yeah. That made it really fun to play. Like, cause then it was like, everything was heightened. Everything was just, devastating or wonderful, so it was kind of great.
Like a Mexican telenovela.
Yeah, exactly, like a telenovela.
We love it.
Yeah.
What about you, Monica?
But to prepare Dolores, I needed 3 hours of makeup every day. But also to get in these amazing sets and to wear those amazing costumes of Clint Eastwood was really helpful for me to get into the characters. And also there is this scene that we can say much because people haven't seen the movie but it's like a horror dancing scene. So this role is very much about body language. I felt a bit like a mime and it was so much fun.
You mentioned makeup, and I think that as an audience, it's something that we can hear often, like, oh, it took 6 hours to make up. It's like, oh, okay, it's part of the process. But actually, as an actress, being in the chair, getting the makeup and getting to remove it at one day and another day and another day, how is it for you to go to
just
that
because each actor has his own process. It's so difficult to explain. But just because when you love your character and you deal with your character, then it's not a job for you. It's a matter of passion. And you think about the makeup as one way that you can have to embrace the role. And every time the makeup was finished, I was someone else.
Okay.
And,
possessed by the Lord.
Yes, it was really helpful for me. So, and I really have to thank all these amazing artists we had in the film because it's an incredible work they make.
One last question, and I mentioned in the press conference that Astrid says like the afterlife is so random. Which would you say is the most random thing you saw on set besides that guy trapped in the thing?
That's so hard.
I mean, the craziest thing, and again, I'm not sure what I'm allowed to say or not, but like when Winona is in the therapist's office and sort of give birth is the wrong word, but has that baby, like that was just one of those things where I was like, what? Like if you had told, like 10-year-old me, like one day you'll be doing this, I would have gone, yeah, that's not gonna happen. But she, like that animatronic, that baby, that Winona's, that special effect where her like belly gets really big, she gets pregnant in 2 seconds, then the baby hits the floor. It was just like, oh my God, and there's already guts all over the floor. You're just thinking, that was the most like just sort of mind-blowing piece of like, I can't imagine.
Moment.
Yeah, just Tim coming up with that. It's incredible.
The thing is that Tim's use practical effects and not CGI, and because of that, for actors it's easier because instead of the green screen, you have real monsters that you have to react to. So you really can go farther with your fantasy and imagination. So that's why you're always in front of crazy things every day because you have real monsters to react to real situations.
Yeah, I was gonna say something similar. Usually you have a tennis ball or a piece of tape that you have to look at and pretend, and we didn't really have to do that on this one. So it was mainly the practical effects that were surprising. I was doing a scene with someone who had drowned and was eaten by piranhas, and there was a little guy in the corner with a remote control who was moving. So all throughout the scene, we had to re-record the entire scene because you just hear the whirring of the machine because the fish, every time the man got excited, they would speed up or they would slow down, and he was dripping water. He had a water pack that was
incredible.
It's so distracting but so good simultaneously.
Amazing. Sounds like a great experience. Congratulations on the movie.
You.
And
so much.
thank you for being here in Mexico City.